Uh, The agenda item that you have this evening is to take positions on warrant articles 25, 26, 27, and 30. We will take them in order. The first article is Article 25, the Concord Public School Budget. Is there any discussion of that? I know we've all seen the budget in the presentation. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, I would be happy to entertain a motion for affirmative action. And in that motion, Linda, I would say that you would need to be explicit with the amount. I don't know if you have it written down or not, but
I do.
okay, fine, thank you.
Okay. Move affirmative action for Article 25 Concord Public School Budget in the amount of $40,782,874.
Second.
I'm sorry, that's not the new budget that was just presented at the public hearing. That's what was in the warrant article. So the correct amount is $40,777,000, $777,000. Boy, $40,777,193.
Thank you for that correction. I took it off the slides that they were presenting. So thank you.
That's what presented. So if you would just say that motion over again.
I will. Move affirmative action on Article 25 for the Concord Public School budget in the amount of $40,777,193.
Susan,
Second.
is there further discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Okay, Ms. Ackerman,
Aye.
Ms. Bates,
Aye.
Ms. Hotchkiss,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
myself, Ms. Escobedo, aye.
Thank you. I note it passes unanimously. The next article for our consideration is Article 26, the Concord Public Schools Capital Project. And this number was amended as well at $830,000.
I do have that number.
Good. Is there any comment or question about this article? Seeing none, then I would entertain a motion for affirmative action on Article 26.
Okay. Move affirmative action on Article 26, Concord Public Schools Capital Projects for the amount of $830,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Ackerman,
Aye.
Ms. Bates,
Aye.
Ms. Hotchkiss,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
myself, Ms. Escobedo, aye.
Thank you, and it passes unanimously. The next article is Article 27, the Concord Carlisle Regional High School budget. That number that was reported is a total of $35,144,038. And Concord's share of that budget is $23,747,968.
Okay, I have those numbers as well.
Excellent. Is there any further discussion on Article 27? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion for affirmative action on Article 27.
Move affirmative action on Article 27, Concord Carlisle Regional High School budget in the amount of $35,144,038 with Concord's assessment with debt of $23,747,968.
Second.
All right, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Ackerman,
Aye.
Ms. Bates,
Aye.
Ms. Hotchkiss,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
myself, Ms. Escobedo, aye.
Thank you, and I know that passes unanimously. The next and last article is Article 30, Healthy School Buses for Students. This was the petition article by Mr. Foles. Is there any discussion on this article? Stephen?
Since I did announce at the finance committee, because I got kind of put in the spot, I want to let y'all know we did write a grant to hire a fleet electrification consultant. And I signed that today. So that relates to Article 31 that was pulled. But since I announced this at the FinCom, I thought I owed it to my actual bosses first.
Thank you. Thank you. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Is there any further discussion on Article 30? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion of affirmative action on Article 30.
I move affirmative action on Article 30, healthy school buses for students.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
Do you have to say the amount?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I think it's 200,000. So
Mhm.
say that, please.
It is, yeah.
So would you repeat the motion with the dollar figure, 200,000 in it, please?
Yes, I will. Move affirmative action on Article 30, healthy school buses for students in the amount of 200,000.
Thank you. And is there a second?
Second.
Second.
There is. Any further discussion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Ackerman,
Aye.
Ms. Bates,
Aye.
Ms. Hotchkiss,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
myself, Ms. Escobedo, aye.
Thank you. I note that it passes unanimously. Before I entertain a motion to adjourn, I just want to remind you that we will not meet after the public hearing tomorrow night. Not reminding you, but if anybody was listening, but we will meet at 9 o'clock Thursday morning. And in addition to the articles that we would consider as the planning board articles, I want to remind you that we are going to discuss who is going to take the lead in developing written opinions that would go into the material that's going to be distributed to town meetings. So please be thinking about that and be ready to volunteer.
I got a question about that. So I believe you said that we should plan on select board writing written material for, I believe you said 15 articles that are going to be debated. Is that correct?
Excuse me. I don't think I said 15 articles. What I think I said was we have to decide on what articles we want to provide a written opinion about. I think what we don't need to do is we don't need to provide opinion for any of the articles that are on the consent calendar.
Right.
But what articles we want to develop written opinions for is our business. And the moderator will say for each of the articles on which we have taken a position, she will say after she introduces the article, she would say something like, and the select board and the finance committee voted affirmative action on these articles. But for some articles, we would, in a normal time, we would then go to the podium and make a pitch essentially for our position on the article. So it's those articles that we'll want to concentrate our attention on.
Okay, let me rephrase my question. I think maybe you said that we're probably not going to write opinions on the consent calendar articles or on the articles that are not being taken up. And the ones that are being taken up for debate, for some reason, I'm thinking you mentioned there were 15 of them. So that would be the maximum number that we would consider writing opinion on. Is that?
Not, I suppose I didn't do the arithmetic. If that's how many there are, that's how many there are.
I don't know.
Normally,
I guess it might be useful in trying to prepare for Thursday. If we can just, does anyone have a list conveniently of the ones that we think are going to be taken up for debate?
Mike, can I?
I have a list that I have prepared for the town moderator. I'm happy to distribute it to you.
Okay,
But
that'll be
for
better.
example,
Yeah.
the select board hardly provides an oral statement in support of the school budgets, for example. Or school capital budgets, we just say we voted affirmative action on them. We even rarely make statements about the town budget. Those are not some things we normally
Correct.
do. So the kinds of things we would want to take positions on potentially would be things like the school bus one, if we wanted to be supportive of that. Article 16 that we talked about last night. Those are the kind of articles that I think we want to.
Yeah.
So I'll send along,
Okay.
its title, I think the memo is called Disposition of Town Meeting Warrant Articles. And it lists the consent calendar, those that aren't going to be moved, whatever.
Thank you.
So,
So,
Stephen?
yeah, I was just say, just to, if I'm gonna assume that budget, debt, budget and capital plan, if you are interested in doing something, I'd happily draft something for your consideration, but I would assume that would be somewhat of a pro forma that you would not need to explain support for. Or do you?
Yeah, I can't remember my time on the select board that we have ever gone to the podium to make a remark.
I don't think we have.
I don't think on
Yeah.
school budgets, school capital plans, town budgets, those things, despite the fact that they're, 99% of all of the money that gets allocated.
Yeah,
Nobody ever, it's just 10 minutes or he says, man, but must move.
yeah,
Let's talk about school buses for an hour and a
yeah.
half.
I think the
No,
one exception to this that we might think about a little bit is, as you recall, a CPC, the CPC allocations are on the consent calendar this year. And it may be the case for a couple of those articles. I think the ones involving money for the Holy Family
Churches.
Church and for the Unitarian Church. It may be the case that they come off the consent calendar because of a number of people. So we might review the CPC warrant article to see if we want to weigh in on that. But
we do have council's opinions on those.
we do have council's opinions on it, and then that might be the kind of writing that we would do based on council opinion, quote some part of the council's opinion. We've taken the position that. So,
Okay. I just was, I'm happy to help draft for your consideration if you
well,
need
we're
help with
going to have
anything.
to parse it out here because what we have to do Thursday morning is once we have finished our warrant article notions about affirmative action, we need to convey this to the finance committee so that it can be contained in the finance committee report, which they have to produce the following, I think it's a week from yesterday. They have to have it ready to go to the printer on the 24th. So they need to get that done. And Carmen, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, has set a deadline of August 26th for written comments about particular warrant articles. So we don't have a lot of turnaround time either. So everybody's going to have to take some, and it's going to have to be a real joint effort here so that we don't overburden anybody having to write lots of different kind of opinions. So just give it some thought, and if there's something you think we should do, and if you've got an interest in that particular warrant article, so there are some expertise in that particular warrant article, so you might be a little bit more eloquent than someone else. Prepare to raise your hand.
So I guess, and if you need content, or something like that, just like I said, Jeremy and I are here, and Carrie LaFleur are happy to help. It's a lot for you guys to do in a short deadline, so we want to be of assistance.
Yeah, no.
I didn't know because Article 16 was a 2/3 vote. I didn't know if I don't know if you're going to handle that differently, or
What do you mean? I'm not following.
well, if there would be a minority report or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be the trickiest one for us to write, of course, because that's the only one where we had a split opinion. And I think they had a split opinion on the finance committee as well. So, that's going to be a tricky one to do. But we'll get it done.
Okay.
All right. Any other comments or questions?
So Mike, I've heard everything you've said. In the past, has the select board, and I know this year is a different year, so let me preface my comments with that. In the past, hasn't the select board more focused on those articles that they themselves were sponsoring?
They have, but they've also taken positions on citizen articles where I think in particular for citizen articles, many of the voters in town look to the select board and the finance committee for as much information as is possible as they make up their decisions. So certainly on select board articles, but also on citizen articles, because they tend to be, perceived slightly differently by the voting folks in town. So those are the ones I think we probably want to concentrate on.
Mhm. Okay. All right, thank you.
Sure. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Miss Ackerman,
Aye.
Miss Bates,
Aye.
Miss Hotchkiss,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
myself, Miss Escobedo. Good night.
Good night, everybody. See
Good
you
night. See you tomorrow.
Hey, everybody.
Bye.
Woohoo!